This is lecture number 30. Okay. In this lecture, we will discuss national income identity under open economy. So our output is equal to expenditures on domestically produced goods and services. GDP is your output produced within country. GDP is your output produced within country. That is equal to जितना प्रोड्यूस होता है उतना ही कंज्यूम हो जाता है. So GDP is equal to total expenditures on domestically produced goods and services. So from GDP we get income. So income consumed on domestically produced goods and services. So why output is equal to income is equal to consumption, domestic consumption, domestic investment, domestic government expenditure plus export. And in the last class already I have discussed CD is equal to C minus CF, ID is equal to I minus IF, GD is equal to G minus GF plus export. Now combine positive terms C plus I plus G plus export, and combine negative terms minus CF minus IF minus GF. Now we get negative sign common, then combine all CF plus IF plus GF. When we will open this term, it will be minus CF minus IF minus GF. So this is imported goods and services. This is inflow of funds IF. This is a inflow of government expenditures from foreign countries on domestic public goods. सभी को ऐड करें. These are imports. These are imports. Spending on imported products. These are imports. So export minus import, we say net export. So our national income identity in open economy, Y is equal to C plus I plus G plus net export. That is very important. Okay. Now we are going to next. Now we solve for net export. This equation already we have done. Now we will solve this equation for net export. Net export को बेटा आप इस प्लेस पर रखें. C plus I plus G इसको आप लेफ्ट शिफ्ट करें. Y minus C minus I minus G is equal to net export. Then our net export is equal to Y minus C minus I minus G. Okay. Then combine all. C plus I plus G minus sign is common. Minus C plus I plus G. जब ये आप ब्रैकेट ओपन करोगे then same minus C minus I minus G. So this is our net exports. When net export is positive, when domestic output is greater than domestic spending, definitely remaining output will be exported. Export बढ़ेंगी, net export will be positive. When net exports are positive, we say it creates surplus. The other option, output is less than spending, then extra spendings will be financed. Extra spending will be fulfilled by imports. Imports बढ़ेंगी, then net export is negative. That is the trade deficit. If net export is positive, we say trade is surplus. If net export is negative, we say trade is in deficit. Getting the points? Now the same things are explained over here. Net export is equal to export minus import. If output is greater than spending, then definitely exports are greater than imports. जब output आपकी spending से बढ़ जाएगी तो extra output आप क्या करेंगे? Then exports will be greater than imports, and we say net exports are positive, that is trade surplus. And when trade deficit, when these spendings are greater than output, extra spending will be financed by imports, then imports are greater than exports, then we get net export negative and trade deficit. When both are equal, then our trading is in balance. Already done. So this is a graphical presentation of US historical data that is very clear. Over the time period is on horizontal axis from 1950 to 2006, and net exports are on vertical axis on the left side, and on the right side for net export percentage of GDP. Both are declining. Both are declining. It means that net exports and net export to GDP ratios are declining over the time 1950 to 2006. Getting the point? So the next thing is the next concept, that is the net capital outflow. Net capital outflow is equal to saving minus investments. Equal to saving minus investments. Savings mean saving is the supply of loanable funds. Keep in your mind. I mean demand for loanable funds. अगर आपको बेटा याद हो कि हमने लास्ट मंडल फ्लेमिंग मॉडल में डिस्कस किया था, when global interest rate is greater than local interest rate, then local businessman क्या करेगा? अपने फंड फॉरेन बैंक में इन्वेस्ट कर देगा, फॉरेन प्रोजेक्ट्स में इन्वेस्ट कर देगा. In other words, local investor will purchase foreign assets. Because global interest rate is greater than the local interest rate. So for his benefit, he will apply loanable funds towards foreign banks, towards foreign projects. So this is a supply of loanable funds from domestic country. Supply of loanable funds from the domestic country. So this is also is the outflow of capital. यानी capital पाकिस्तान से निकल के बाहर जाएगा. This is called outflow of capital. If the other option, if local interest rate is greater than the global interest rate, then local capital बाहर नहीं जाएगा, बल्कि foreign capital local country में आएगा. So as local interest rate is greater than global interest rate, then foreign investors will invest in Pakistan. That is the demand for loanable funds. Okay, then demand, that is the demand of loanable funds. But ये बात ये ध्यान में रखें कि foreign country की supply of loanable funds होगी, लेकिन domestic countries के लिए ये demand for loanable funds. क्यों? हायर इंटरेस्ट रेट की वजह से फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर पाकिस्तान इन्वेस्ट करेगा, और ये क्या होगा? इनफ्लो ऑफ कैपिटल. बाहर से कैपिटल पाकिस्तान के अंदर आएगा, बाहर से कैपिटल पाकिस्तान के अंदर आएगा. तो दैट इज द इनफ्लो ऑफ कैपिटल, दैट इज द आउटफ्लो ऑफ कैपिटल. So in net capital outflow is equal to net capital outflow is equal to the difference of outflow of capital and inflow of capital. ओके, तो बाहर से कैपिटल क्या होगा, पाकिस्तान में आएगा. तो इट मीन्स दैट अगर बाहर से पाकिस्तान में कैपिटल आएगा, देन इट मीन्स दैट पाकिस्तान बोरो कर रहा है बाहर. पाकिस्तान बैंक में क्या है, वो जो पैसा आ रहा है, मीन बैंक बोरो कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान फॉरेन कंट्री. अगर पैसा जा रहा है, इसका मतलब है लैंड कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान. सप्लाई ऑफ लोन फंड जब कर रहा है, देन पाकिस्तान क्या कर रहा है, उधार दे रहा है, लैंडिंग कर रहा है. लेकिन अगर डिमांड ऑफ लोन फंड पाकिस्तान कर रहा है, इसका मतलब क्या है कि पाकिस्तान में कैपिटल इम्प्रूव हो रहा है और पाकिस्तान इन दिस केस बोरर. पाकिस्तान यहाँ पे क्या है, बोरर है. तो सप्लाई ऑफ लोनेबल फंड केस में पाकिस्तान लैंडर होगा और डिमांड फॉर लोनेबल फंड केस में पाकिस्तान का बोरर होगा. ये बात है. So this net capital outflow is equal to net outflow of loanable funds. That means the difference between is equal to net purchases of foreign assets, by the domestic investors minus foreign purchases of domestic. Now we have two options. When supply of loanable funds greater than demand for loanable funds, then country is net lenders. Then lending ज़्यादा कर रहा है, borrowing कम कर रहा है. When supply of loanable funds are greater than demand for loanable funds, then country is net lender. If supply of loanable funds is less than demand for loanable funds, then lending ज़्यादा, borrowing ज़्यादा कर रहा है, lending कम कर रहा है. Then net decision क्या होगा, country is a net borrower. दोबारा से बता दूं, when supply of loanable funds is greater than demand for loanable funds, इसका मतलब क्या होगा, पाकिस्तान lending ज़्यादा कर रहा है, borrowing कम कर रहा है. So country will be net lender. When supply of loanable funds is less than demand for loanable funds, in this case Pakistan is borrowing more than the lending. Borrow ज़्यादा कर रहा है, इस केस में क्या होगा, पाकिस्तान country will be net borrower. Okay, now we solve this problem with the national income identity. So we know that net export is equal to y minus c plus I plus g. As you know, basically ये minus में सारी term minus हमने common ले लिया. Then we solve it for savings, for supply of loanable funds. Y minus c minus g. I को हमने separate कर दिया. Minus I. Y minus c minus g. That is the saving. The total income से consume household consumption और government expenditure के बाद जो remaining amount क्या होगी, saving. Definitely जो remaining amount होगी वही supply होगी, वही supply of loanable funds होंगे, वही invest होंगे foreign currency में. That is the saving minus investments. That. So net export is equal to net capital outflow. Net export is equal to net capital outflow. This is very interesting outcome. This is the link between trade and net capital and capital flow. So we find that net exports are equal to net capital outflow. So net exports are equal to net capital outflows. Now, any country, no come over here, any country facing trade deficit. When trade is in deficit, trade deficit means that imports are greater than imports are greater than exports. When imports are greater than exports, then trade is in deficit. When trade is in deficit, why trade is in deficit? Because आपकी currency क्या है? Appreciated है. Okay? आपकी currency appreciated है और local interest rate ज़्यादा है. Okay? जब local interest rate ज़्यादा है, then you are net borrowed. Local interest rate ज़्यादा होने की वजह से क्या होगा? Foreign country से loanable funds ज़्यादा आएंगे. So in this case, as net export is negative, then definitely right side भी आपकी क्या होगी? Negative होगी. Then definitely negative part, then savings are less than investments. Definitely minus sign is greater than. When net export is negative, why it is negative? Because of trade deficit. Then definitely here minus sign is greater than the positive sign. That is the net borrowed. So trade deficit means that the country will be net borrower. If trade is in surplus, then mean net exports are positive. Definitely right side will also be positive. Saving will be greater than investment. When savings are greater than investment, then country will be net lender. So any country with trade with its surplus will be net lender. That is all. But please keep in your mind, any country with a trade deficit will be net borrower, and any country with trade surplus will be net lender. That is the point. Now here we find one example from US and we confirm the last equation. US in 1980s, US experienced trade deficit. In 1980s, US experienced trade deficit. As a result, when we find trade deficit in 1980s in US, then at that time US was net borrower. US was net borrowers. Why US was a net borrower? Because in US, demand for loanable funds was greater than the supply of loanable funds. Getting the point? So at that time, US was the largest debtor nation of the world. It was the largest debtor nation of the world. So that was the explanation of we have done with respect to the open economy. And finally, we conclude that net exports are equal to net outflow of capital. Now, we explain open economy model with saving and investment. Already we have done small open economy. We have some options. Small open economy, we price level we have already done in the shorter price level and the perfect capital mobility. Now we have to discuss some elements to discuss saving investment relationship in small open economy. So open economy includes the same things like production function. First one is the production functions in the long run, output in the short run. So in the short run, output depends upon capital and labor. Okay, both capital and labor are fixed. When capital and labor are fixed, then definitely output is also fixed. Okay, this is a production function. Then consumption is a function of disposable income. y minus t. Y minus t, that is what. Okay, investment is the function of real interest rate. Government expenditures are given, and taxes are also given. So these are exogenous policy variables. Exogenous policy variables are used in fiscal policy. This is an investment function. This is a consumption function. This is a production function. These two functions, these three functions with the fiscal policy variables will be implemented in the next slide. So here supply of loanable funds are fixed because as we know that supply of loanable funds does not depend upon interest rates. Because in the short run, real interest rate is given as we have done in chapter number 3. So first consider this question. Why saving is given? Y bar that we have already done. What is the saving? As we have done in the last slide. Y minus C minus G. Y bar is given C minus C, YT minus C bar. Both income and taxes are given. So Y bar minus C minus G. Y is given. Or produce income is given. Consumption is given. Government expenditure is given. When we deduct income, when we deduct consumption and government, given consumption and government expenditures from output level, from given output level, then definitely savings are given. Savings are given. So therefore, the savings are given. So savings does not depend upon real interest rates. So thus, saving curve is vertical. Savings are given, are not affected by the real interest rate. That is the point. So this is the saving curve that is very important. We have done this curve. So if you have any question in this chapter, you can discuss now because we are late.